just...
You on?
Okay. The main thing that we're trying to do with the church is be a hub for the community, looking at the whole, from a holistic way, which is everything from the spiritual, the physical, and also even the mental development of people. So we have everything from the summer Bible class, for example, Bible school for kids, and then we deal with the elements like with the development of the garden across the street to look at the possibilities of the community being aware that we can kind of go back to the earth and be responsible for what it is that we consume.
I like that idea.
To another dimension is that with the Tai Chi, what we're looking at is the fact is that not only is it a martial application, but it also has this, again, 360-degree kind of way of looking at life. So if you slow things down, you become more in contact with both how you breathe, physically how you feel. The other thing is that where you're weak, you can start working on that. But we also know that it also is a flow. So Tai Chi is all about flow. It's about yielding first and then backing up. So too much in our society is a tendency to run towards things. And then when you do, you don't have a choice. You kind of overcommitted. And I think as a church, one of the things that we're trying to do is to blend all these kind of things together. And that's basically kind of it. And then everything from communications, which now we're working on with how to do a community Wi-Fi possibility.
I like it.
So we can look at communications tying into internet, tying in education, tying access to information about the world. People sometimes get limited because of lack of transportation, but the internet allows them to go look at stuff that normally they would have in the past get to a library. And as you know, libraries are now limited in terms of access, limited in terms of
how many
of equipment, and then
a lot of them closed up.
Yep, and they're not available
Right.
in terms of the community.
Right.
They may be putting new libraries, but if you see what the new libraries are, they're in neutral spots. They're not.
Exactly. They're not personal like they used to be. So I
And
agree
then
on that.
the biggest thing I think that then shows up with individuals is that we hope that if people feel blessed, they're willing to serve or commit to volunteer service, because I think that's also beginning to hurt. People have gotten hit so hard with job situations, this food desert that we have here in South Shore. Think about no Dominic's, no major store past Stony Island going east.
Right.
From 67th Street to 83rd Street.
True.
I mean, how is that possible? So I think, and then when you're talking about medical and required, required medical things that students are supposed to do when they go to school, like shots, stuff like that. Parents should have some place that they can be convenient in the neighborhood that they can get these things done. So somewhere in the future, working with other churches and community groups, so the social services groups like Windsor Social Services of Illinois, Advocate. We actually, as a Lutheran church, have over 200 churches in Chicagoland area. That's just with the ELCA, which is our division of the Lutheran Church. Advocate Healthcare, 50% of that board is Lutheran. That is actually a Lutheran presence. Lutheran Social Services of Illinois is the second largest in the state, which is also a very large body responsible for social services for elderly. And then when you look at the programs like Theological Training, Lutheran School of Theology, which is right in Hyde Park, is one of the only Lutheran seminaries in the urban area in the United States, and that's right here in Chicago in Hyde Park. So
That's not far.
We as a Lutheran church are very proud that it also is part of the Lutheran World Federation that deals with international stuff. So I see all that, and if you look at it as a hub, the main thing that we're trying to do is to get individuals aware of what's already existing, not what you have to create, what's already existing.
I agree.
And then the other element is what can I do with the least amount. You see, most time people get worried about money. My experience over the years has been very simple. It's not about money. It's about waking up one morning saying this is what needs to be done.
Yes.
And after you got that going, then what you then need to do is say, is there some existing already? Is there something I can attach to? Or is there something I can start the ball rolling to create it? or if there's
Right.
something that you just as an entrepreneur in today's society create that people need.
Right. I totally agree with you on that. And yeah, that's even how the website came along. Finding a resource that's already existing, supporting them, and like you said, what's missing? Where do you fit in for what can I do to add on to my community that's not in the community currently right now, right? But you need to know the resources that are existing first, or else you like doing duplicate something that don't need to be duplicate. Either get with that resource and help them build up, or create something new that needed within the community. So I feel you on that. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I know is a lot of churches, a lot of different social, but many times everybody says, okay, now I got to go do this thing. And then what happens is the agencies, like government agencies, foundations, they get torn between, well, we got this one over here, so do we take the money from here and
Good
move
point.
it there?
Good point.
Or can you guys collaborate? And what will happen in the collaboration is they won't necessarily take money from there, but what they can say, if you go collaborate, we can expand the amount of money. It won't be double, but
Right.
at least be another third.
And that's a good point. That's a good point too. I think people don't think about.
Yeah, and so if we do that, you're still going to get the monies that came, because what happens is, in the non-profits, a large percentage of it goes in administrative costs on the front end of the boat.
Of course.
If someone else has already taken care of that cost, and all you have to do is bring labor and your creativity,
Right.
then what you then have is the ability to quickly get to what your desire is.
True.
So it'd be like in the photography, it'd be like if you already have the camera, so somebody just brings the card or the film.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
why do we have to have another camera if somebody has a camera just don't have the film?
Exactly.
In the past, or have the card, just as I say, the medium to record it on. And I think that's what churches, that's what existing institutions are. It's the medium to record it on. When a child goes into a school, what you're now dealing with is the fact they already got to school. Do we have the resources? People come in to teach the child.
Right.
But many times today, what they're talking about is they're dealing with the physical thing, and they're not really dealing with the resources that's needed for the child. So,
Exactly.
and a holistic thing, and just make this real short on this, is that when you look at the hub, what you always try to do is you try to go out as far as you can to touch as many people, whether it be foundations, the community, the people, the government.
Right.
And then what you try to do is bring it back and concentrate in the middle, and by doing that, it's like an atomic plant, nuclear power plant, because as you bring all those things towards the middle, because there's differences, it automatically gets heated. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Because heated means it's a conversation about why is this important. And once you have why is it important, then you have the facility for something to be done.
True.
But as long as you're out as a satellite thinking about yourself, basically what happens, you get heated up and then you get cooled off, and pretty soon you get cold because it doesn't seem like you can get it done.
That's a good way of putting it.
So
I like that.
you bring it to the middle, you get a little bit heated, politics and religion and all that stuff. But then at the end of the day, what the resolution is that, okay, so what are we going to do about it? And
Right.
see, everybody's stuck with it then. See, once you get it in the community center,
Right.
everybody's stuck with it.
Right.
So you can't say you never heard about it. You can't say you don't know what to do anything about it. You
Right.
can't say you never seen anybody can do it. You can't say that's not resources. You can't say that's not a problem.
And you can't say you're alone.
That's right. That's usually the cop-out as well. If I only knew, well, now you know. So the problem is you're stuck with it. So the
Right.
resolution of this is not so much a resolution, it is the catalytic impact of putting things in motion. And when you do that, things get heated up.
Right.
But as you know, if you want to cook a chicken in some hot water, you got to get the water hot.
You got to. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to.
And you just ain't no, it's just, as long as it's sitting in cold water, it's just going to be cold water.
It's just gonna be cold water. That's
Nobody
it.
wants chicken.
Nobody.
So the way I look at it is you have to have hot water, and you know, with a thermostat on it.
I love it, and I see that, and I think it's a lot of community leaders that's feeling that way, and like you said, trying to get them all together
Yeah.
can be the challenge. I think sometimes run into when it comes to this community as well. Just trying to say, hey, it's not like it's such a unique thought. It's just trying to get all those thoughts put together, and when things do get heated up, creativity come out of it. So like you said, you got these different minds and thoughts, but you all got the same goal. And that's sometimes I think we forget we have the same goal. You know.
There's, and you're directly mentioning something that I'm just going to end it with this, is that many times particularly in the black community, we get into the feelings part first. I feel this way, I feel that way, which is great. We have every reason to feel that way.
Right.
Now, the reality is, and it's called a Z effect. That's not my idea, so I copied. But in the Z effect, what it is, you have to go, what's the actual facts of what you have? Then what are the options, and what's the plan, and then how do you feel about that?
Right.
Because now in that process, that means that you will look at all the teams and people and the monies and so forth and say, okay, this is what we have. The options, and with those resources, what can we do? And then out of that, you would choose the best option.
Right.
After the best options, and you get stuck with the administration and the logistics of it. And
I
say,
like
okay, what's the plan we're going to do?
Right.
If you don't feel good about that, at any given point of all three of those things, if there's something, when you go back and I ask you, say, Julia, how you feel about it? You say, well, I still don't feel good. Well, we ain't got it yet. So let's go back. What's missing for you? It could
Right.
be a fact.
Good
Maybe
point.
it's an option that you won't be available for the time. You don't have the volunteers.
Right.
So is there some other way that we can get you enrolled? So
Right.
when we're talking about all these leaders, it really many times breaks down because everybody's saying, I don't like it, I don't feel good. And that's not the important thing. So what's the fact? What's the problem?
Facts. Right.
See, the fact is, what is the problem? You have to first identify the problem and then what you have to work with the problem. Then you have to look at what's the most viable option that you have to work with.
Right.
And after you choose that, and you go down as a team, because you've agreed on these facts, you've agreed upon the option.
Right.
And you go down and say, now how can we make this plan work? Then at that point in time is, okay, so what are you going to contribute in time? What are you going to do? If we say we're going to show up at 10 o'clock to do the demonstration, you can't show up at 10:45.
Okay.
That'll
Right.
be
Right.
10 o'clock.
Exactly.
Because your intention is good at 10:45. But the audience, the media, and so forth is not there
Yes.
at 10:45. They're there at 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock. We have a
And so-
sensitive audience.
Yep. And so, bottom line, if you look at that, then after all said and done, what you then deal with, if you feel good about it, which means everybody's smiling, everybody's excited, everybody says, when we're going to get it done, everybody's saying,
Right.
can I get my sister, my brother, my daddy, my mama, and everybody else involved, then you got something viable. If you're
Right.
not talking that way, if you don't have that kind of callous kind of feeling, then you need to go back, look at the facts, look at the options, look at your plan, because something's missing.
Right. Right.
People are saying, when you going to get this done? How you going to do this? Can I bring, can I bring my sister?
Right. Right. And
Yeah,
that's
I
the
don't even like my
connection.
sister, you know?
Right. And there your connection began.
See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I say, when you can start bringing people that you normally don't even want to bring,
Yeah.
you're so excited because y'all are
Right.
excited about something.
Right.
And I said, you said you're so mean.
That's a good idea.
The thing is that means that when you think about the toughest person you have to talk to, and you want to talk to them about it,
You know you got
something good.
You got some good.
You know?
I agree
So
with you on
I
that.
just kind of leave it at that. And again, we kind of talked about like the Tai Chi, and Tai Chi is a flowing kind of thing that when you look at the total picture, and you kind of weave through and you look
Okay.
at energy coming at you. What you want to first do is yield to it, and after you yield, then what do you want to do with it? Do you want to just rest it? Do you want to attack it? Do you want to break it? Do you just want to step away from it?
Right. And that's what I do like about, I have never had the chance to actually do it, which I would love to get to a level where I could come to the class.
Yeah.
But as I have observed it, I do see it like an inner peace.
Yeah.
I used to meditate, and I say that used to, but
Yeah.
I want to do that again as well.
Yeah.
I also had a young lady on every block popped up who wants to do meditation towards the end of this month, which I may even try to hook you guys up in, because that could still all work together. But it's definitely dealing with that inner self. And I think, like you said, people do miss that timing of the instinct that I think God gives you.
Yeah.
You get so wrapped up in all the moving with computers, TV, the violence or stuff that's happening in your community that you do lose that inner self. And I think Tai Chi gives you the chance to do that. Even with my own son, he's 23. I noticed at some point he was moving really fast with things. I'm like, you may need to get in Tai Chi. I think you need to learn how to slow up with oneself. Right.
And that leads into what we talked about, the prayer thing with pastors working on that. A lot of times we rush to prayer like, okay, my car is broke, so Lord help me fix the car. But that's rushing because of the emergency. When you slow up, you actually begin to look to the future. You know, today may not be the day that I need to fix the car, but Lord, show me the ways in which I can get the car fixed.
Right.
Meantime, show me the best bus I can take. Show me the fact that I can still walk. Show me the fact that I can still appreciate the outside air. Because a lot of times when an inconvenience comes along, the inconvenience is not about the inconvenience. It's about, are you aware of what else is around you that you are bypassing every day, that you're giving up your right to? And like walking, breathing, slowing yourself down.
Right.
Because at some point in time, here's the funniest thing in life. When you start off as a baby, it's a slow process. It looks like it takes forever for that child to get to be an adult, right?
Right.
But all of a sudden it accelerates.
They do.
Okay?
Right.
Everything accelerates.
Right.
And what happens is, towards the end of it, people saying, slow down. They were asking for what they gave up in the beginning. They wanted to slow down so they can appreciate the last whatever.
Right.
It could be the last 20 years, the last 30 years. It doesn't make any difference.
Right.
But if we only learn that if you slow it down from the beginning and then accelerate only when you need it, then even though the same number of years, it will look like it's longer and more fulfilling.
Right. Fulfilling.
You see?
So
that
right.
holistic thing, just staying consistent to this circular concept as a hub, you can go out as far as you can go, but remember, you can only go out as far as you got gas money. And then when you get to a certain point, you realize your tank is half full, and you go, if I go any further, do I have enough money to get the gas to come back?
Right.
So if you're realistic, you say, you know what, I better go back and recharge.
Right. I agree.
You see?
And
That's
I think that's what Tai Chi, I think that's what that brain meditation, I definitely think, but prayer definitely brings you back to re-energize your inner self.
Yep.
And again, I think people do lose that so easily and need to find that again. I think that's the thing I respect about kids so much too. They have that natural instinct God gave you. I think society kind of beats that out of you, or you let it happen, or I don't know how it goes, but you lose your instincts. Then you go to yourself, how did I make that mistake? Why didn't I notice that? Because you have kind of lost the inner self, which again is a spiritual thing. Is your relationship still to me about what God is trying to tell you?
Yep.
You know, right? You know that, and that's what you end up losing. Because you're not dealing with the inner self. I also think with that inner self brings a certain happiness when you talk about your circumstances. You got an inner self. Sometimes when you connect it with your relationship with God, sometimes your circumstances is not as strong to you in a sense of making your day happy or sad or weak. That inner strength could be like, okay, the sun is not out today. It's raining all day long. It's cold outside, but you still may have this inner peace that I think people lose. That inner peace is way beyond what your circumstance is, and we do get caught in our circumstances easily.
You see that in cases where people are in a disaster situation, and typically that's what they call heroes, right? So heroes are no different than anybody else. It's just that a hero to me is a person in the moment when it's easy to run, to flee, to just shiver with fear. Says, let me just stop here. I mean, I really don't have a lot of options. But what is the option that makes some sense here? Can I pull myself from this, whatever it is inside me that I never used before?
Right.
To go do something that is outstanding and miraculous. You know?
Right.
So, I think that everybody's a hero. It's just a fact
Good point.
That we speed past it.
True. I agree with you on that. I think everybody is. I do think everybody is a hero. Just got to find that within yourself that it does exist. Yeah. I guess we better bring it up.
So just in time to go.
Okay. Thank you.